and welcome to Spiritual Hygiene. My name is Josie Bray and I'm your host and guide. Today we have a message from Liam in Nashua, New Hampshire. Liam writes, "Dear Josie, I've been having a lot of wrist pain lately and I wonder if you have any tips on how to improve it." Yes, I do, Liam. In fact, I'm going to set this clipboard down. So for a lot of us, wrists can get really sensitive with all of the work we do on computers and with cell phones. There's a whole series of fascia in the arm and in the wrist that I learned about when I was working with Eric Franklin. And I will teach you some techniques today that can help ease wrist pain. So one thing we're going to do now is we're just going to start by recognizing that the connective tissue in the body connects the whole body. And so often when we're feeling wrist pain, it's not just from the wrist. There's a whole system at play. So we're going to work today shoulder all the way down to wrist. Start by taking one hand and placing it on your opposite pec muscle, on your opposite chest, and you're just going to take that arm forward and back. So we're going to let this tissue slide and move, knowing that the tissue that can get sticky in the wrist can also get sticky up in the chest and the shoulder. And then go ahead and take this hand, you're gonna hook it right over your shoulder blade. There's a little ridge in there that they call the spinous process of the scapula. And you're just gonna hook it over, it's like a little mountain ridge. And your fingers are over, pressing gently, and then go ahead and take this arm forward and back once more, just noticing how that feels. So you could imagine that what's happening here is you are sliding the tissues around each other. Imagination is one of the best tools of healing. I learned that from Eric. And so if you could imagine that as you put some pressure on the fascia here, the fascia is helping to loosen and slide, that will help your wrist in the long run. Okay, and then we're going to come on down here to the upper arm. Go ahead and take your hand right to your upper arm. Just hold it gently, and we're just going to twist this arm down and up. Fascia responds to vibration, it responds to shear, and it responds to pressure. So we're giving it a little pressure and a little shear right now. And then go ahead and take your hand down to your forearm. Give that a little twist. So we're going to let this fascia, this connective tissue, also have a little slide to it. And then go ahead and take your hand here to the wrist, and you're going to give just a little twist to this wrist fascia. There's fascia in here. It's almost like a bracelet called the retinaculum. And we're going to let that have some slide. We've got some tendons under there that can get really sensitive. And so sliding the fascia around the tendons can be really helpful. And then go ahead and take your hand and massage your opposite hand. We also like to move all of the joints of the fingers. And so you can do that by taking your hand and grabbing your thumb and grabbing your pointer finger, giving it a wiggle, grab your middle finger, give it a wiggle, grab your fourth finger, give it a wiggle, and grab your fifth finger and give it a wiggle. And then just go ahead and wiggle out that whole arm, and you'll just notice how that feels. And then just go ahead and notice both wrists. The wrist we just did for me feels a lot better. So we're going to start with the second side now. So go ahead and take your hand to your opposite chest. Take a few deep breaths, and then you'll move your arm forward and back. We're just going to let this connective tissue slide and glide and have a real sense of movement, knowing that that connective tissue goes all the way shoulders down to fingertips. And getting the wrist to feel better is often supported by getting the whole shoulder, arm, and hand moving. Moving your arm forward and back and letting the tissue have a sense of slide and glide. And you can move your arms in lots of different directions. And then go ahead and bend your elbow, and you'll take your hand to this upper arm. Give it a gentle, but it's got a little bit of firmness to it. And you're just going to let the arm come up and down so that we're giving that tissue some shear. And then we'll come to the forearm. And you're just going to give your forearm a bit of a massage here. You're giving it some shear by twisting it and some pressure. Do the same thing with your wrist. Again, you know, people get carpal tunnel here because these tendons can get a little bit stuck under the fascia. So we're just gonna let them move, give them some movement. And then go ahead and massage your fingertips, your hands. There's denser fascia here in the hands called the plantar fascia. So we're just gonna give that a little bit of a denser massage. And then go ahead and pull on your thumb, give it a little wiggle. Pull on your pointer finger, give it a little wiggle. Pull on your middle finger, give it a little wiggle. Your fourth finger and your pinky finger. And then just let your arms come down. Notice how your hands and wrist feels, and you can even give them a little twist. Hopefully they're feeling a little bit better. Liam, thank you so much for your question. I hope that helped. If you have a question about emotional, physical, or spiritual health, feel free to shoot me an email at hello@josiebray.com, and maybe we'll use it on an upcoming episode. Thank you so much for coming, and I'll see you next time.